Hi, I'm Kellen from the CDL Wisconsin Roth Sugar Bush. Today we're going to do a short video and demonstration on how to use a maple syrup hydrometer. First thing we're going to do is pull our hydrometer out of the box and take a look at it. Okay, at first glance of a maple syrup hydrometer, you want to recognize what scale that you're actually reading in. So this particular hydrometer has two different scales. This side is going to be the Brix scale. This side is going to be the bomb scale. The Brix scale is going to be the more commonly used scale in the maple syrup world, so we're going to pay attention more so to the Brix scale. Finished syrup is at 66 Brix at a cold test of 60 degrees. So this particular hydrometer has two different test lines on it. It has a hot test at 211 degrees and a cold test at 60 degrees. With that being said, these aren't an exact tool. This is more of a reference. There is a temperature compensation chart available to get an exact measurement. For how most people use these though, it's just going to be more of a reference point. Another way to get an exact reading will be to use a temperature compensated refractometer. So before we use our hydrometer for the first time out of the box, we want to take it and set it back in our box, take a marker, and mark a line to where the paper's at. The reason that we want to do that is so we can reference it year to year to make sure that our paper hasn't moved inside that hydrometer. That will happen if you drop it or if it bounces off the bottom of your hydrometer cup. So the more that paper slides down, the more inaccurate this tool will be. So actually using the syrup hydrometer, what you're going to want to do when you're boiling your sap, you're going to take your CDL hydrometer cup, you're going to not drop it, you're just going to set it in there. You want to have about 1 inch to 2 of open space on the top of your liquid. So we're going to set it in there and it's going to float. This is pretty thin yet, so it's not floating too much. Okay, so as we keep cooking, it's going to start to thicken. The more it thickens, the higher this is going to float. If you were testing at 211 degrees and it floats up to that red line, that's finished syrup. So that's one way to test when you're actually boiling your syrup. When boiling your syrup throughout the day of cooking, you want to store your hydrometer in warm water. So we're going to set it in here to wipe it off. Use a rag, and we'd actually store it right here in warm water so we don't take a cold hydrometer, put it in boiling hot sap, and possibly break it or shatter it. So we're going to dry that off. Another reason you want to do that is syrup will crystallize on this glass. If syrup crystallizes on the glass, it's going to make it heavier. It's going to make it sink. With that being said, it's going to give you an inaccurate reading. So you want to have it clear of sugar and dry. So now in the second cup here we have some room temperature syrup. Again, it's down about 1.5 inches in the cup. So we're going to want to have it test our cold test. So if this is finished syrup, it should float pretty close to that cold test line. So we're going to set it in there, not drop it, and it's going to float. So as you can see, this particular syrup is a little off. So this syrup is actually just a little bit on the thin side. Pretty darn close though. That red line is almost right onto the syrup level. So with that being said, you've got a finished product. Your maple syrup is at 66 Brix and it's ready to bottle and be consumed. So this is a short video on how to use a maple syrup hydrometer. For more questions or information, visit our website at www.rothsugarbush.com.